Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me for your daily tarot reading. I always ask you to choose the stone that calls to you, and then we begin. This is the magic of your own intuition. I always smile when I read a comment that says that it's been spot on again, because you know what that is. That's your own intuition, your own spirit guides leading you to the right one, and you're obviously hearing and picking the one that your gut wants to pick. That's only one part of the magic of your intuition, though, because as you listen to the reading, Spirit will show you the parts of that reading that are most important to you and light up all kinds of messages in your own mind. So really, I suppose a person could pick any one and their intuition would still help them to learn from it what they needed to hear today. So we'll begin. For those of you who chose the white stone with these deep orange streaks, we've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Cups. Okay, none of these are major arcana, which is just fine. It just means that it's probably not a huge decision-making kind of day for you, but it looks like it's very important for you to separate yourself out if somebody's coming at you aggressively, or if you feel like you want to come at somebody with verbal aggression. You know, those swords are their speech, their thoughts, their plans, their sometimes actions based upon a plan. But you know, the Knight of Swords, he hasn't completely thought everything out. He's taking orders. He's not the person with the well-developed, complete and total plan. He's the person who charges forward and goes crazy, you know, just going forward on his part of the plan that he has. So it's a lot of times when you see the Knight of Swords, if that's how you feel, it's a caution. It's like, okay, now just take a little time, pause, go off by yourself, figuratively or literally, and take a little time to think about how you feel, because emotions are cups, and before you speak. So that could be for some of you. For others of you, somebody's coming at you with that kind of thing, and it's a little upsetting, and still go off to yourself and know that if that person is doing that, they're not in any kind of state to fix any damage they've just done, you know, with what they've said. They're not in a good state to do that. So sometimes we do need to go off to ourselves and seek solace and allow Spirit to put an arm around us and give us comfort and heal us. And sometimes we need to do that. And then a lot of times when we do that, we get these lovely memories with this nostalgia card, the Six of Cups. We get these lovely thoughts. Spirit brings us to our mind times when we've done well, times when we've overcome things, times when we've been loved and appreciated and loved others and appreciated them. Spirit can bring to our minds all of that and really bring us a lot of comfort and hopefulness. So this is an interesting mix. Probably nothing huge, you know, there's no major arcana here, probably not a huge event. It's just the stuff of daily life, living with other human beings, the complex creatures that we are. All right, for those of you who chose the pink stone, we've got the Magician in the heart of the matter. We've got the Nine of, oh gosh, this is great. We've got the Nine of Swords, the Magician, and the Queen of Swords. I say this is great because if you're feeling any of this worrisome, trying to figure everything out using logic alone, maybe even up in the middle of the night a little bit thinking. Sometimes this can be when people's minds are overstimulated, so they wake up in the middle of the night and they think, oh, I got to remember to do that. You know, sometimes this can be when you're simply worrying about something and it's not going anywhere. It's not the useful kind of, it's not planning, you know, where definitely the intellect is here with all these swords. And with this one, oh my gosh, yes, the intellect is there. But the kind of thinking that this card represents is not using the intellect, it's fear-based. So luckily, look at what you have over here. you've got the Queen of Swords, who is, gosh, she's smart. And she is she's able to hear from the other side too. So she's guided. Her planning, her thinking is a lot of times lit up with advice from the other side. She might not even know it. It's lit up with insights, and she might not even realize that. She just knows she's really good at planning. She's really good at analysis, and she's really good at making actions based upon those plans. You know, regardless of how she feels about it, regardless of how others feel about it, she's very good at looking truth square in the eye and accepting it and being very practical about it. So the Queen of Swords is wonderful, and that energy is coming up in you. You've got that ability, obviously, with this card. And the Magician is saying, not only do you use that to manifest something good, but there's the sense of power with the Magician, isn't there? Where he feels powerful. So I feel like relying on your own good sense, your own maturity, your own good judgment that has only come through trial and error, right? Years. Relying on that gets rid of the worry, and it manifests something powerful in your life. So please trust yourself today is what I'm hearing. You can make a good plan, and you can decide to, not worry about the rest. Because the Queen of Swords too, she cuts away the emotion. She cuts away the fretting. She cuts away she says, okay, now that's all a waste of energy. So we're not doing that, and she just moves ahead and manifests the results. So these are great cards for you. All right, for those of you who chose this lovely periwinkle stone, we've got no major arcana, so not a huge earth-shattering kind of day, but we've got a little bit of everything here. And a nice day. This is actually a nice day because there's work that's very productive, that's very focused, that gets a lot done to increase your health or wealth or other source of security. A lot done, maybe even learning something new. This is an apprentice there, so maybe even learning something new and into it, into it. But then there's also some celebrations, maybe some nice interactions with friends. And we have the Ace of Cups. So it's sort of, that can be a peak emotional experience. And I think with these two this is relatively positive, and this is quite positive. I think with those two cards, this cup is all about, it is about a peak emotional. So you might have a moment today where it's just nice, where you're just feeling like, oh, this is nice. And you feel the blessing of spirit, maybe even on your heart. Sometimes do you ever feel as if an angel is touching your heart and just making it glad, or bringing your attention to something delightful in your environment, like the birds are starting to sing in the spring or something like that, So you might have a moment like that too. But certainly make time today to interact with friends. It's likely to be quite positive, and you're likely to get a lot done. If you have a day where you're planning on getting a lot of things done to increase your security, that's going to go well. So this looks like a nice day. For those of you who chose this green and white mottled stone, we've got the Star card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen. Okay, the Queen of Cups. This is wonderful. Okay, so this is a nice reassurance. I personally like the Wheel of Fortune card because I feel like if there's anything big going on in my life, you always have that sense of uncertainty, like, is this supposed to be happening? Our mind tends to fret about that. Even if the day before we were centered in spirit and we were sure this was supposed to be happening, still we forget that. And we can fret, and I think this is nice. It comes around as a reminder that even if something big is changing in your life today, or at this point in your life, it's good. It's a sort of meant to be kind of thing. It's the Wheel of Fortune. There's a sense of fate about this. Now, I believe that nothing is absolutely fated to occur. We are very powerful beings. And we can change our own destinies. We're very powerful beings. We often forget how powerful we are. But there is a sense of there are some things that perhaps our souls wanted to experience in this lifetime before we ever came here, that are probably going to happen, you know? So sometimes that's a reassuring card, especially when you get the hope card with it, the star card with it. Like, yes, this is hopeful. There's reason to be hopeful. That's what Spirit brings in with that one. It's always a reassurance that, yes, please be hopeful. If you have a choice on how you're looking at this situation or that situation, choose hope, because there's good reason to. Good things can come in. Good things can happen as a result of whatever's going on. So we have the Queen of Cups, and that's reassurance that your maturity helps you to ride out whatever is going on, anything emotionally turbulent, with great insight and self-control. You know, the lid is on the cup for this Queen. Maturity, compassion, those kinds of characteristics. Now, the Queen of Cups, she has a depth of emotion, and other people may not know how deep that goes, because she is so gracious, you know, and she has self-control. She's just so gracious. So that's a wonderful reassurance too, that you really have everything you need to come through whatever transition is happening in your life in a way that's hopeful and positive. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.